Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the touch align constraint. So let's start. Before we start with any of the constraint, the first work is to give the constraint of fix to any of the component in the assembly. So let's go to the constraints. Like here, I have given the fix constraint to this body, which is the largest in the assembly. So to get the details of the constraints, you can also go to the constraint navigator in the resource bar options. So I'm just going to click on this, and here you can see we have fixed body. And if I just click on this expand button, so it will show me that on which body I have given the constraint. So this is the basics of constraints. Now let's start with the touch align constraint. And why do we use the constraints? For getting this answer, you can watch my video on degrees of freedom so that you could have the understanding that why do we use the constraints and up to what value do we use the constraints. So I'm just going to start with touch align now. Just click on assembly constraints. So as per the definition, positions components in relation to other components in the assembly by specifying constraint relationships. Like we have the sketch, and in sketch we give the constraints to define the sketch as fully constrained. Similarly, we have some constraints in the assembly which have been given to the assembly to define the assembly as a constraint or not. So I'm just going to click on assembly constraints, and here we have very first one, which is touch align. And in touch align we will get certain options, like here we have find closest, then we have prefer touch, then we have touch, then we have align, then we have infer center or axis. So these two are going to be similar, and these three are going to be similar with some little difference. Like in the find closest, so it will find the closest possibility of touching these surfaces. I'll just let you know about this. So I'm just going to cancel this, like here. So if I just put this assembly like this, and I'm just going to move this component. Let's move this somewhere here, like this. Now you can see we have a hole here and a cylinder, or say as large pin here. So I'm just going to give the assembly constraint of touch align, and here I'm just going to use the find closest. So before you give any constraint, you should have a picture, like how you are going to set that particular assembly, like this pin is going to be get inserted where, and how it is going to be get constrained. So these kind of some relations you should have in your imagination. Now let's move forward. So if I just click on this surface and then this surface, so you can see this is the find closest. Find closest means it is going to give you the possibility that how this is going to find the closest touch condition with the components. So I'm just going to reset this, and it will just have a undo. So I'm just going to again select this surface, but this time this one. Now you can see this is the find closest condition. Again, I'm just going to reset this. So just discard this. Then we have the prefer touch. So it is going to give a touch, like here we have touch. So these are kind of similar options. Like if I just go to prefer touch and going to select this one and then this one. So I'm just going to reverse this. Now you can see this is going to prefer a touch here at this condition. And if I just undo this and going to select the touch command here. So I'm just going to have the touch option and going to select this and then this. Now just reverse this. So you can see it gives us the same result. However, it is all up to the practice that how you are going to use these three options, whether you are going to choose the find closest, prefer touch or touch, as they are going to function in a similar way. So it is all up to you that which option suits you best. Now I'm just going to have the align here. So I'm just going to reset this command. We give align whenever we need the pin to be get inserted into the hole sharing the same centers. So I'm just going to give it as a line. And here I'm just going to pick the center line of this pin and center line of this hole. So this is aligned. I'm just going to give the apply here. And here you can see this is aligned. Here we have large pin and body. So if I just drop it down, here you have body and large pin for the align option. Let's get to the constraints again, and this time I'm just going to have the touch here. So I'm just going to give the touch to this surface and this surface. So here you can see this is coming as red, which means that the constraint is not proper. So you do not have to worry about this, just reverse the direction. Now you can see this has been turned their color. So this means this is a proper constraint. Now just click on OK. Now, what is the functioning of this pen? So this is a gripper. So gripper should have the motion like this. Let me just give you the proper orientation. So it will move like this. Okay. So if the component is getting moved on this, like this one and this one is getting moved on this pin. So this pin should have the degree of freedom as 0. This one. Why 0? Because we have the circular portion. Let me just hide this. So here you can see, if I just move this, here let's move this. So this arm should have the motion like this, and pin should be fixed. If the pin is going to get rotated, so it will give the distortion to the motion of this component. So in order to get the desired motion, we have to just give the degree of freedom to this component as 0. Now let me just get to the other window. I have just used the shortcut of Control Shift B to get into the window of hidden components. And then use the shortcut of Control plus B to hide this component from that window so that it can get into the real window. Now let's check the degree of freedom of this. So I'm just going to click on large pin, then just go to show degree of freedom. So you can see there is 1 degree of freedom for this component. So we have to lock this. And for that we have different constraint, which is align lock. We will get to know about the align lock in the later videos. You do not have to worry about that because I'm just going to complete all the constraints on this model as we are going to fully define this assembly. Now I'm just going to give the constraint to this as well. So I'm just going to the assembly constraint. Then here I'm just going to have the info, center or axis, as this is going to offer the same role as of align. So I'm just going to give the info, center, axis. Now I'm just going to give the touch here to this surface and then to this. Just reverse the direction. So here we have info, center, axis. Now again, I'm just going to have the info, center, axis, and this time I'm just going to have this axis and then this axis. Now you can see this settles perfectly. However, we have some constraint to define the symmetry of this component with respect to this. So for this video, that is all. We have understood about the assembly constraint of touch align, and in that touch align we have the certain orientation like point closest, prefer touch, touch, align, info, center or axis. So that is all regarding these constraints. So if you have any doubt or any question, please do remember that the comment box is open to your queries. Please do comment so that we can answer to your queries as soon as possible. So that is all in this video, and if you have learned something new from this video, please do hit a like, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.